It's no secret that Super Mario 64 revolutionized the video game industry and fundamentally changed the way we play games. With the recent release of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, many gamers could be playing for the first time. Others may still be on the fence asking, does Super Mario 64 still hold up in 2020? That's our topic for today's video. People of the internet, RetroRaconteur here. If we're meeting for the first time, I'm just a dad who loves games and the stories they tell. We post videos twice a week here on YouTube, and today we're talking all about Super Mario 64 and how well it holds up here in the year 2020. Should you play it if you've never experienced it before? I hope to answer that question, and maybe a few more, here in today's video. Many gamers my age are reliving their childhood right now as three classic Mario games have taken the spotlight once again thanks to the recent release of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Then we have the younger gamers out there like my son who are checking out 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy for the very first time. There's no denying that for its time, Super Mario 64 was an absolute masterpiece. When it released in 1996 alongside Nintendo's new console, the Nintendo 64, gamers were absolutely blown away to see the Italian plumber in 3D for the first time. Trust me, I was there. If you're a younger gamer out there, or maybe an older gamer who didn't play games as a kid, just try and put yourselves in the mind of a gamer back in 1996. For starters, a third-person 3D perspective is something we'd never experienced before. Most games on home consoles were side-scrollers, like the original Super Mario Bros. Of course, you also had games with a top-down view, like the original Legend of Zelda. Over on PC, you had shooters like Wolfenstein 3D and Doom experimenting with first-person perspectives. So going back and playing Super Mario 64, now, here in 2020, is a fascinating experience. I recently started playing through it again over on my Twitch stream, which, by the way, I'd love to have you guys stop by and check out sometime if you're interested. Right now we stream on Monday and Wednesday evenings. I'll throw a link down in the description below. But as for Mario 64, I was immediately struck by how many of the game mechanics are still being used today in numerous third-person games. I mean, there's actually a giant seesaw-like structure early in the game that immediately reminded me of this summer smash hit Fall Guys. Even something as simple as the ability to walk directly up to a sign or an NPC and interact with them in 3D was something we had never experienced before. And now it's just a given in a third-person game, something you just don't even think about. In the days of the NES and SNES, Nintendo was known for their incredible level design. That certainly carried over to Mario 64 and still holds up today. Peach's Castle acts as a hub world while paintings throughout the castle transport you to worlds with completely different aesthetics. From snow to underwater to lava, all the classics, they're there. Not to mention all the secrets you can discover in and around Peach's Castle. Yet again, it's just incredible how many of the ideas here still carry over into our games today. At this point, you may be thinking, all of this sounds great. You should know, though, there are some frustrations with Mario 64 and some clear examples where it shows its age. The most obvious one would be the camera. Nintendo certainly had the right idea for controlling the character with the analog stick, which is still the primary form of movement for console gamers to this day. What they weren't quite able to figure out back then was the camera. You see, the N64 controller had only one analog stick. Instead of a second stick, the controller had a series of 4 directional buttons on the right side of the controller. These were originally intended to be used for camera control, which is what Mario 64 did. Now, even though both the Joy-Cons and the Switch Pro controller have 2 analog sticks, the right analog stick still behaves in a way that is essentially just 4 buttons. Left, right, up, and down. You don't have full 360-degree control over the camera. Here's a little tip if you're having trouble with the camera. Try not moving the camera so much like you would in a modern third-person game with full camera control. Instead, let it do its thing most of the time and simply adjust how you're moving Mario. In time, you'll get more comfortable having to move Mario in directions other than just straight ahead. Now, if you're playing Super Mario 64 for the first time thanks to Super Mario 3D All-Stars, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think so far. It's not only the camera, though, that's a little wonky. Even moving Mario can feel strange at first. Although an analog stick was certainly the right call to control Mario, it's not as responsive as I remember. It could be because Mario Odyssey is fresh in my mind. In fact, if you've played Odyssey recently, you'll instantly notice the stark difference here. Odyssey's movement controls are precise and sharp, whereas 64's controls feel a little loose, almost delayed slightly, and nowhere near as sharp. Truth be told, I expected the control issues, and I have to admit it's certainly something you get more comfortable with as you play. The issue that surprised me the most, though? The difficulty. Super Mario 64 is actually a lot harder than I remember, at least if you're going for all the stars. I'm sure a quick playthrough would be a lot easier, but my son has had a difficult time getting into 64, and while he's only 6, he's practically an expert at Super Mario Odyssey. Seriously, he has over 700 moons, all by himself. Don't get me wrong, some stars are absurdly easy, but others will have you banging your head against the wall when you can't get the controls just right. There's one particular star early in the game where you have to use the wall jump for the first time. And I don't know, man, there's just something weird about the responsiveness of the wall jump in this game. It doesn't always work the way I think it should in my head. It definitely doesn't work the way that modern wall jumps do in current Mario games. There's also this weird issue where you can't seem to back out of a level, but pro tip, just stop moving Mario and then pause the game. Seriously, it's so strange, but if you're moving Mario and pause the game, you won't be able to leave the level. If you stop moving though and then pause, you'll have the option to exit. So where do I come down on our question that we opened the video with? Does Super Mario 64 still hold up in 2020? Absolutely, positively, yes. Are there some frustrations that you'll have to overlook in your quest to beat the game or go after all 120 stars? Absolutely, positively, yes. But just from a simple standpoint of being a fan of video games, you owe it to yourself to play one of the defining games in the history of the medium. Trust me guys, you will be amazed as you notice numerous little details and gameplay design choices that still, to this day, impact our games in 2020 and I'm sure beyond. Playing Super Mario 64 also gives me a completely new appreciation for Super Mario Odyssey, which is an absolutely brilliant evolution. It still has all the DNA of Mario 64 everywhere you look. Honestly, looking back at all the 3D Mario games, you can see their steady improvement with each generation, but all the while maintaining the spirit of the original that started it all. Now, if you guys want to get your hands on Super Mario 3D All-Stars, check my link in the description below, and remember, Nintendo is, for some inexplicable reason, making this game only available for a limited time. It's annoying, it's frustrating, let Nintendo know about it. If you don't want to buy the game because of it, don't. Now, if you can't get a physical copy at the link below, you can always go for a digital version straight from Nintendo as well. Once again, I have to thank you guys for all the support you've been showing the channel lately. If you're new here and you're not yet subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell so you won't miss any of our new videos. A thumbs up always helps as well. And as always, thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll talk to you again soon.